Thanks for joining this week on Dezignworks TV. We're going to be talking about our brand new Dezignworks inspection module for Solidworks. This new module allows you to load an ST or OBJ file, then actually align the mesh, possibly clean it up and edit it, and then do a full feature to mesh inspection, including reports. So Dezignworks inspection module for Solidworks lets you load meshes, save meshes. In this case, we're going to load the mesh. You can load large or small, doesn't care. This module is a derivative from our Dezignworks Pro Mesh for reverse engineering. If the mesh file needed any editing or clean it up, you can use our editor. You have tools to decimate, clean up, reduce triangles, whatever you need to do. We're going to use this one the way it is. Now, on the shop floor or wherever this is going to be, the person that scanned this with the scanner, he's going to save an STL or OBJ file. Notice the position it's in could be totally different the way you've drawn it. So this is the native SolidWorks model that was created. This part could have been machined, or it could be a cast on an incoming part. We need to determine if this STL or OBJ file matches our SolidWorks model with the intolerances. Dezignworks inspection module gives you all those tools. First thing you need to do is to align the mesh once it's been brought in and cleaned up. So you have different tools. You can align by origin, a mesh fit, best fit, or datums, and then by a coordinate system. We're going to use the align mesh features. We're going to use the feature-based alignment. What that does is going to let us create features on here with SolidWorks, and then Dezignworks feature tools on here and line the parts up. So the first part of this is things you do everything in SolidWorks. We're going to use the reference geometry and create some datums on the part that we want to align to. So we'll say the possible GD&T or the callout says they want to align by an axis and some faces. So you use SolidWorks reference geometry. In this case, I'll say axis. I'll just pick on this cylinder, create an axis. We'll go back up here and use more tools. We'll say create a plane. Now with SolidWorks, you do have to clear these before you can actually start working. So I cleared it. I'm going to pick this face. And also if there's anything in here, you have to delete the offset. So there's an offset automatically stored in SolidWorks. So we're going to make a datum there. We'll actually do the same thing for over here. Clear this. We'll pick this face and clear the datum that was left. Again, this is SolidWorks 101. You do it every day. And we'll repeat it for on here. So we're just making some reference geometry align to. Enough to line the part. So we've got an axis, those planes. We might need something to check the part going back and forth. Let's pick another reference geometry here, and we'll go ahead and actually create a plane. And we'll clear this out. Or if the callout was telling you that these were machine faces, you might be putting datums on machine faces. So we now have an axis and a few planes. What we'll do is we'll do the same thing on our mesh. So the Dezignworks product has tools in here to actually paint on the mesh and replicate the same features that you created over here with SolidWorks. So again, we created an axis, we created a plane on the left, the right, the top, and the front. So we'll go to the Dezignworks inspection tab, and we'll say align mesh features. In this case, we're going to do feature-based. So we're going to say, pick the ones we want. So the ones we created were axis, plane, 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 plane. So normally it's a combination of axis and plane, as many as you want. So we're going to say feature-based alignment. The Dezignworks mesh feature tag comes up, now lets you paint on the mesh. So we're going to paint in here. This is derived from our Pro Mesh module, where you paint and create features for lofts, cylinders, whatever you're going to do for reverse engineering. We gave you enough tools to actually paint and make datums. So you can paint wherever you want. We're going to go ahead here and say, let's create an axis. So we're actually going to mimic what we did over here in Solidworks. So we're going to paint on this face here, create a plane. Same thing over here, paint, plane. Same thing over here, paint, plane it. So what we're doing, we're mimicking the datums with the Dezignworks mesh features tools, painting on the mesh. So when we write these out, these will actually line up. So now the two have been aligned by best fit datums. Let's see how close the mesh file is to the native SolidWorks model. So we use the feature to mesh inspection tool. You can pick one face or everything on here. We'll do a Control A and we'll say visualize errors. It's going to show you a heat map of how the part was aligned. So you can see for 90% of this part, everything looks really good. For some reason, there's something wrong in this area. Either there was a machining problem or it possibly didn't get machined. Something wasn't quite right. So one way we can check this is mouse over. This is a deviation from the native SolidWorks part to the mesh. So you can say in most cases, this is really, really close. And you could go back and actually use one more datum alignment. Again, because the top was kind of rough. So, we could add one more datum alignment to this, and it might even fit better. The other thing you can do is Dezignworks lets you put balloons on the part. So now we're going to put balloons. It has callouts. It actually color codes these for the deviation. So you can spin the mouse around to the part and put the balloons wherever you want. We are using the 3D connection spaceball. Works great with Dezignworks. So you can see overall the part's looking great. We need to determine what is wrong in this area. So again, with this datum alignment, we're using features that we're calling out that should have been machined or best fit. So we're going to go ahead and write a report. We're going to use the S key to write out snapshots of any view. We don't do just the standard 3 views. We do any view you want to do. You just simply rotate the part around. The balloons auto align. Hit S to have as many pictures on the inspection sheet as needed. So we'll actually write that out. Now we're going to say create a report. You need an Excel for this. So we went ahead and said use every sheet as a separate sheet for the call out. So on this particular face, there was only 2 points selected. It tells you the min, max, standard deviation. We'll scroll down. Here's where you can put your organization, your operator. This is fully customizable. Datasheet 2. There was points on there. Standard deviation, standard call out. So for every face I actually selected, in this case I chose to have separate data sheets. You can say to merge them or have individuals. So for every face I was on, I'm having data sheets. This one was really tight. It was 2/10. So you can have as many as you want for every face. Then you also go ahead and have image sheets. So for every time I rotate it and save a snapshot, I have my image sheets with all my callouts. So there's my first one that had all the callouts on it in that view. My min, max, standard deviation. Image sheet 2. 3. You can just keep adding more and more. Dezignworks inspection module for SolidWorks. It's fast, efficient, and easy to use. Tune in next week for more Dezignworks TV. Have a great day.